Hello, my name is Brianna Gorgie, and I am a registered nurse on a step-down unit at Grand Strand Medical Center. I have taken part in a debate regarding the North Carolina legislation of improving North Carolina rural health. I found that the best argument in favor of this topic is that without proper healthcare resources, patients will not be able to receive preventative medicine, therefore resulting in a possibility of a greater disease process forming, causing it to be much more aggressive to treat and much more expensive to pay off. The best argument against this topic is that building various resources in every city, whether urban or rural, and employing hundreds of medical workers in order to make sure every North Carolina resident has access to medical resources is expensive and not ideal. It is much more ideal to build bigger hospitals in bigger cities where the population will be able to support the millions of dollars it takes to run a hospital. Rural areas with their small community would not fully utilize a medical facility to its fullest capacity, henceforth causing the hospital to be useless in that area. This legislation has already been signed and enacted in June of 2018. I am personally for this specific legislation to move forward for three specific reasons. As a nurse, during discharge, it is my duty to educate the patient on signs and symptoms of things to look out for, and if they happen, they need to seek medical attention immediately. These signs and symptoms could be something like excessive drainage at an incision site or a temperature of 101 or greater. Although I work at a level 1 trauma center in the middle of a big city, I get a lot of patients that have traveled many miles in order to come seek medical attention. It is unrealistic of me to expect these people to seek medical attention when needed, and it is unfair for them to receive education knowing that they won't be able to follow through. This causes my education to be pointless, resulting in a worsening of their condition. The second reason I am for the moving forward of this legislation is that building more hospitals in rural areas would decrease the high quantity of patients in hospitals in urban areas. Big hospitals not only serve the thousands of residents in their city, but also the residents in the surrounding rural cities, causing the hospitals to be completely overpacked. The American Hospital Association did a study in 2010 that showed that more than half of urban hospitals' ERs are over capacity 100% of the time. This hinders the quality of patient care, especially for those who traveled a long way just to receive any kind of medical attention. So if there is a need for more space in urban cities, then there should be a capability of building more hospitals to meet the need of the cities of North Carolina. The last reason I am for the moving forward of this legislation is because rural cities consist mostly of older generation that are in higher need of medical attention than the younger population that are usually in urban cities. It does not make sense to keep the majority of medical resources in a town that serves the young that will not use it as much of people in a town such as elderly. Although rural cities consist of a much smaller population, they are in higher demand when it comes to needing medical attention. These smaller areas need hospitals to serve them. I think the next step for this bill is to allow research to be done in order to find the rural cities that are in desperate need for medical facilities. Then we need to find out how far they are from the closest medical facility, and then start planning on bringing them the resources that they need. The bill has already reached its goal and has been enacted a year ago, but I think more work can be done in order to ensure health resources are available to all North Carolina residents. I feel like this change needs to happen soon. I live in an area where we have 5 hospitals within an hour drive, and our hospitals are still packed and we still get patients that drive hours to admit themselves. All the hospitals are lined up in major cities, leaving the surrounding rural cities with not even a doctor's office. It is difficult to know that I am sending someone home that needs extra medical attention to an area that has no resources available to them. More research must be done before building more hospitals. These rural small towns must be looked into to find out their needs and what we can do to service them. Doing that would holistically serve the purpose of this legislation.